What is going on, guys? Differences are gaming with my review of Magi, The Kingdom of Magic, episode 6. And episode starts off with a flashback of Hakuryuu, and we see his brother Hakuryuu, and he's dying, but before he passes away, he actually tells Hakuryuu that he must live and survive and get revenge. And he also tells him who planned this attack on them, but at first we don't hear it. So now he is fighting his friends, and Hakuryuu is actually doing pretty well with his dojin. We see that he can summon these plant-like creatures out of basically thin air, which is really cool to see. But of course, you know, Alibaba and that flame sword of his can cut through that with no problem. So at one point, when Hakuryuu's spear and Alibaba's sword actually connects, we see that normally Alibaba's sword can melt anything, but in this case he can't, because Hakuryuu was using Magi manipulation. But you know, but Hakuryuu doesn't have much Magi at this point, so he could only do so much. So even when he had his sword protected, we see that he was using too much and started doing some serious damage to his body, because we see all these open wounds appear, and he also started bleeding a lot as well. So then we get another flashback, and we see his mother, who was marrying the emperor of the Ko-Empire. And so like, after their marriage, I guess, or whatever kind of ceremony they had, Hakuryuu had asked his mother if what her brother said were true, and sadly she did not deny that. So of course, you know, it's implied, or you know, it's true now that his mother really is evil, and she is the witch, I think he called her, of that group, Al-Thamen. I'm probably saying that wrong, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So after he passed out because he lost so much Magi, he actually goes back to normal. But Mada, she's actually trying to get away, but luckily she is captured by the Navy, and so they actually take her and the kids, you know, back to the land, but not before Oba tries one more escape, where he actually, you know, pulls out his weapon to attack, but they shoot all these arrows at him. And thank God Alibaba was there, otherwise that right there would have been a sorry sight to see, because he used fire, you know, to melt all those arrows and save his life. So once they're back at the city, they're going to, you know, take those kids away, and of course they're going to take Madayura away as well. But the victims, you know, those kid parents actually, you know, want her to be killed. And in the manga, this scene right here was a lot worse, because we could actually see what those parents, you know, did to her. And even though it wasn't that bad, it was definitely, you know, kind of gruesome to see, because we see her, you know, we see her hair being pulled, and we see like her scalp, and we see, you know, the flesh under her skin, you know. And then we have Hakuryuu, who was still having those nightmares, and he admits that he was still kind of, you know, under her spell. And at first, you know, he protects her, but then he like steals a sword and he actually decapitates her. Now in the anime, they definitely censored this, because we only saw like black figures, but luckily in the manga, you know, we saw the real thing. Now I can understand some censorship there, but when it came to the family, you know, attacking her, I definitely think that we should have saw what they really did, and you know, not just see them surrounding her. That right there was kind of like a little bit lame to me, if I say so myself. But of course, you know, Alibaba and everybody thinks the Hakuryuu, you know, he went too far with that. But because he wanted to kill his own mother, and she looks like him because he was still under her spell, it kind of made sense in a way. But even I think that he went like way too far with that. He definitely should have more composure, because it would make sense. Like, why would his mother, you know, leave the empire and come here? I mean, I get that he's going with the emotion right now, but sometimes you gotta use your head a little bit. So after Orba, you know, tries to attack him, Hakuryuu, you know, just smack him away, and he becomes so cold. Like, you can just see his character, you know, slowly changing, and he even, you know, he even leaves to go his own way now, which Morgiana actually stops him because she wants to convince him to come back. And this is where Hakuryuu, you know, kind of annoyed me a little bit, because he was just forcing himself onto Morgiana. I mean, I get that he loves her, but he being like way too forceful with his feelings. I mean, at one point he even pulled her and kissed her, and that was there I didn't like, because I definitely want Morgiana and Alibaba to get together. I mean, I'm sorry, Hakuryuu. I know you love her and all, but Morgiana is definitely not your girl. So even though she was like happy that that he confessed to her, because it was her first time, you know, hearing that, it did kind of shook her up some, because once Alibaba and Aladdin, you know, dealt with those kids, because after Model Euro was killed, we just saw Black Ryu, you know, coming out of them, because they were slowly becoming corrupted and they were being so hateful. But thanks to Alibaba, you know, words to Orba, because when Alibaba broke down and started crying, Orba did the same thing, and that's when that white Ryu, you know, the good one, came out, and that saved everybody. So now those kids are on their way to Sandara, where they can make a life for themselves, and that what they, you know, was definitely a lot better, because rather than them being prisoners probably for, you know, to their adults, it makes sense that they can have a fresh start and a new life there. So I'm pretty sure some of y'all are definitely, you know, wondering what's going to happen with those kids, and even though, you know, you might not see it in the anime, because I'm not sure how long it's going to go on this time. In the manga, they have definitely shown them recently. So now that the kids are gone, Morgiana has come back, and she tells them about how Hakuryuu is leaving, and Alibaba does make a good point, how similar, you know, Kasum and Hakuryuu are, because they both kind of like hate their parents, because Kasum did kill his father and Hakuryuu wants to kill his mother. They are like so full of hate, and Hakuryuu could like definitely come out, you know, the same way as Kasum, where he goes down the wrong path and they don't turn to the light till it's his final moments. So I can understand why he wanted to save him, but Morgiana, you know, she kind of needed somebody, and that's why Aladdin went instead. And so I was so hoping, you know, that Aladdin could get through to him, because I definitely like when they're all together. But Hakuryuu is so set on this war that he's trying to get as many allies as possible. And to be honest, I would definitely I would love to see our four heroes and, you know, Sinbad and his crew go against, you know, the Ko Empire, because you know, Ko is so hyped to be the ultimate bad guys. If like they're more hyped than that our group itself. So I love to see, you know, a war break out between them, because I think it would be so epic. But guys, like I said, this chapter, I mean this episode, it was pretty freaking good. I like the pacing. I will say that in some parts I did feel like the animation could have been a little better. But overall, pretty good episode. But as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, because that really helps me out. But as always, you guys take it easy, and I'll see you all next time.